Hi, this is George. How are you today? This is day number 58 of my 100-day art project. I'm going to show you how to do a easy feather using acrylic wash. Believe it or not, this video was originally planned as a short. This part is a recap of the sectioned background I did last week. The initial background was done in watercolor, and I'm using Neo Color 2s as a supplement for additional colors. Make sure that if you are doing this, that your initial background is completely dry. So, as I was saying, this was going to be originally a short. But if you know me, you know that I just can't leave it alone. So as I was doing the wash, I thought to myself, how would I be able to use this in a doodle? I had an eureka moment and decided to do a doodle for a feather, but to include painting with acrylic wash from Turner to test out the limitations of the gouache as well as the Staedtler fine liners. Plus, I wanted to just mess around with my supplies. So if you're ready to start, a couple of things first. The video is sped up a little bit, not much. Second, there's no music, but if you want to have some use it in the background, go for it. And if I remember, and hopefully I do, there are timestamps in the description to let you know where you can fast forward to. I like to sketch out my designs sometimes in pencil, but don't forget to erase it when you're done. You can't see too much with the video quality as it is, but I have the feather coming off of a beaded chain. Once you're happy with your design, go ahead and ink it in. I'm using my Staedtler fine liners because it's permanent, so it won't smear or lift up if I plan on doing any painting, which I'm going to. Although I'm using Turner acrylic wash, you can use it, use anything that you have, like, well, not really. regular gouache because it reactivates, but you can continue with watercolor or acrylics. I like to limit the number of colors that I use, like 3 or 4. That way I blend them as I need. With 3 or 4 colors, you can create a whole lot of colors. And when you mix them together, there is cohesiveness with the overall painting. And a quick wash dries fairly quickly, so if you give it a couple of minutes, you can go over what you just painted, and it's really opaque. Now, sometimes, not always, but sometimes, what I do is I bounce around the painting to balance it out in color, intensity, detail, etc. And sometimes I will go over and add a little bit of color to give it a bit more variety. Now, I am by no means an expert in painting. There are tons of artists on YouTube who have more experience than I. So I'm basically saying this is how I do it, but you have to figure out your own style and how you like to do. And if you do something that quote unquote breaks a little rule, don't worry. You're painting to make you happy and not anybody else. I need to apologize. I am painting this at around midnight or so, so obviously no sunlight. So occasionally the light is a little wonky, so I apologize. I'll go in every so often and make more highlights and shadows using the same colors. It gives an overall sense of variety visually, so your eyes have a chance to move around the painting. You can tell that the watercolor background is a lot more translucent, whereas the acrylic gouache is more flat um, and not glossy like it would be for really a regular acrylic. That's why I like using gouache for the visual variety. I'm going in with a little bit more purple and around the bead as well as in the chain. Sir, sorry about my constantly moving the paper around, but I do it because I want to make it as easy for me as possible. Here I'm adding a combination of a little bit of white to the yellow ochre as well as a little bit of Prussian blue to create the appearance of square beads with the um, chain. Later on, I'll create a bit more highlight on the square beads, but you'll see that in a bit. As with doodles, the the magic is in the details. Here I'm applying a little bit of dry brushing for a more painterly look on the feather, giving it some more dimension. And again, basically is yellow ochre with a little bit of Prussian blue. And here I'm going in and applying a bit more highlight to the square beads. As with doodling, the details make the doodle more complete. And I like to redefine my initial design. Here I'm using a 1.0 Statler, and I'll go around the outside and maybe a little bit of rounding inside. And because I like adding more detail, I'm going to go in with, I think it was 0.5 for this one. And I, again, a bit of rounding. Here I switched to definitely the 0.5 on my Statler. Make sure that your paint is completely dry before going in with your fine liners, because if it isn't completely dry, you can mess up the points of your pens. And because I don't know when to stop, I'm adding in from a little bit more detail. And some extra on the right side, more geometrical than the left side, but you can do whatever you want. No wrong or right way to do anything, just go with the flow. Good. So I went in for a bit more detail, and that one was for the 0.3, and let's add some gold. Who doesn't like a little bit of gold? So, not bad for what was originally for short. Now it's a bit longer. I hope you enjoyed the video and got inspired today. So, how you like it? It's pretty cool. I will see you in the next video. Have a great one and take care. Bye.